Well, welcome to another edition of Catching Up with Coach T. I'm Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Dylan Smith, and with me is none other than Head Coach Edwin Thompson of the baseball team here at Georgetown. Coach Thompson, how are we doing today?
Dylan's great. It's kind of weird not being at a ballpark on a Friday. I think it's been going since February, right? February, whatever we got against Ryder. So kind of a crazy time to kind of be talking baseball. Obviously, we're playing this week in the regionals, but obviously time to reflect and celebrate what we did. So.
Well, let's start off with the end of the season. I mean, talk about just absolute craziness and wildness happening in the final 8 games of the year. And, let's start with that Penn State game. Obviously a huge win coming against a Power Five conference team. What was the message coming out of that game going into a series with St. John's, and what's the gravity behind winning a game against Penn State?
Well, it means a lot. Obviously, it has been a long time since we beat them. They had a great year over there. They were in the middle of they went to their conference tournament. So we knew we wanted to kind of be prepared to come out of finals week, getting ready for Big East play. And down the stretch, we knew with 6 games to go, we weren't clinched in the playoffs. There was nothing. We knew we had to win games to get in. And so those type of games right there, that was a good measuring stick to say, okay, hey, we're a really good team. And if we play really well, we're going to have a chance to win some games down the stretch. And so that was a great opportunity. Obviously, shutout against Power Five team was a lot of fun. And it was a great win for our program.
Now, as we move forward onto the weekend, I should say, you go to St. John's. It's a tough series. You knew it was going to be a tough series going in because historically St. John's has always been a power team in our conference. But talk about the importance of that series. Obviously, it doesn't end the way you want. It's one of a walk-off loss to end the series. And, what was a learning piece of that series that helped you towards the end of the year?
Well, going on the road is hard. Winning on the road, winning a series on the road to close out a series, it's just a difficult thing in conference play. And so, having the close games, winning on Friday and then just losing a close one on Saturday, we knew Sunday was going to be one of those games and kind of go back and forth. And it was a great college baseball game. Let's just be honest. And so, we had I think the rain delay, or that was the day before. I forget what it was, but we just had a day where it was actually a nice day. And I remember, and we were fighting back and forth. We were up, they came back, we went back and forth, took the lead. We had the lead, until the ninth inning, the ninth inning, they tied it on a solo home run with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And so we could have just been really deflated. But we kept fighting. We had a chance in different times. They just had the last at bat. And my message to the team was, we're going to hit last next weekend. And that was literally the message. And we were so down and emotional. I said, we're going to hit last every game next weekend against UConn. And so that was the message leaving out of there. I said, hey, luckily at that point, we were still the 4th seed leaving the weekend. So we kind of had we controlled everything we needed to do to get into postseason. And that's all I said, hey, we're playing the last weekend with something to play for. And if we take care of the business, we'll be in postseason. So that was kind of the message. And then we go ahead and play on Tuesday to VCU, the Atlantic 10 champion teams, and play a 12-inning game after traveling back from New York, getting back home late Monday morning, playing Tuesday in a 12-inning game, and again walked off. But same message was, we're gonna hit last this weekend. We're gonna hit last this weekend, and we never veered our confidence. We were really strong in our belief in who we were, and we played well at home. So it was one of those things where the guys. We were coming out of finals. We were getting, like they were exhausted. We were just exhausted on Wednesday. I think we had a really light workout. We practiced, or Tuesday, whatever day it was, I forget. But we were just tired. And then we kind of got back in UConn. And then that was obviously the weekend that was, just a lot of fun to be a part of.
Well, you prefaced a lot about the lead up into that week, but let's dissect this 3-game series against UConn. Obviously, you come to the series after those 2 losses that, are heartbreaking losses. Anytime there's a walk-off produced, it's hard to sometimes swallow that. But that game 1, your team came out and just dominated a number 16 team in the country. Something that we saw all year when you played teams like Virginia and Maryland. That setup must have been super crucial for this final series, which had so much implications for not only postseason, but from a program record standpoint. Obviously, you're approaching the wins record in this final series. Just how important is to get that first win and the brevity in just that win alone against UConn.
Well, I mean, we just beat an All-American, right? I mean, Austin Peterson is a phenomenal pitcher. We knew that coming in. He's one of the best in the country. Just got named All-American yesterday, and so we knew it would be tough. But Coach Mack and Coach Brock, we had guys a great plan. The hitters were locked in, and then our pitching handled the business, and it was just as a total team effort. One of those games where everything kind of clicked,
Mhm.
and we were like, okay, we got this one. That's our ninth win in conference at the time. So we said, okay, hey, now we're here to win a series, right? And so we really just stayed in what our whole weekend mentality has always been, is to win a series. Just win the series, and then we have a chance to win a series, you have a chance to sweep. So, but going into that, knowing after some losses happened around the league, we kind of knew one more win, it kind of clinches us in. We're in control. And I told him, we got to the park on that day too, was just, hey, we're not worried about anybody else going to the weekend. We're just focused on what we do. We can control what we do. We don't have to scoreboard watch. We win and we're in. And that was the message we went with, down the stretch, just kind of keep them focused. And obviously Saturday's game was just one of the best, if not the best game I've been associated with in my 18 years as a coach and as a player. Just everything on the line with a chance to to make it to postseason, to be able to have that. And our fight and our grit that night was just something special. For the ones that were there, our fans were just, it was truly something I'll never forget
Well,
on senior.
let's talk about that game too. Obviously, that's not only clinches your spot in the postseason, it sets the record for wins. It does so much more for the gravity of this program. Something that we've talked about on the side. Just how important is that win on that game two, with the circumstances that you win by? I mean, obviously Nolan Matsko, as the guys said, sent us to Prasco, and he just has this perfect hit in the bottom of the ninth, to send everybody home. I'm sorry, the bottom of the 10th. But
Yeah.
talk about the importance of that situation, that game, and just how it tells us the full story of what this season was for you and your team.
Well, it just shows, we had 11 seniors that stuck in the program, that didn't leave, guys that were there for 4 years. I'm talking about on senior day. Tony Barreca and Noah Matsko, both guys that were not everyday players to start the year or throughout the year, but at different times they all stepped up, and just, the moment never got too big for them. They were just, they were there in the moment, and they had trusted their training. They went out there and got two big knocks. And Tony had great base running, which we work on every day to score and a bang bang play, and so everything else aligned, right? And I think when you put all that into it, but also beating a top 25 team in a series is extremely difficult. And they're a team that's, hey, they won the regular season championship. We knew that going in. They knew what they were going at, but our guys had a lot to play for. They knew they were going to be the number one seed. We knew we had to play our way in, and I wouldn't have wanted any other way. Obviously, end result is, we didn't have to win any games that
Yeah.
weekend, and we still would have made it in. But I told them we want to earn our way into it, because regular season is guaranteed, the postseason is earned, and we earned it because they're obviously they're in their NCAA regional today, and we wish them well. But it just shows from a program standpoint that where we want to take this program, how we want to get to that point. You have to beat teams like that. You have to be able to win at home against a team with something on the line. And I think that allows us to have that moving forward, but also it's just a great moment to celebrate as well at the same time.
And after the game, we had chatted quick, and you said that that win that night, but I really feel like maybe it was the entire series, that you said this was a program win. It was a program series sweep, if you don't mind me saying that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really strong statement that you had said to me after those games. But talk a little bit more about that. I feel like that's such a crucial part in why this team was successful this year, on top of just being able to develop and grow through your coaching staff and everything else.
Well, I just think we had so much support. I mean, our support from administration, our support from our fans, and then just our alums. I mean, everyone's proud to be a Georgetown baseball alum. And I think, like anything, everyone wants to have the success on the field, and results that everyone wants. And everyone wants to have those moments when they go to the office, they can say, yeah, especially if you live in Connecticut. Like, I had texts from people all over the place, but they're ones in Connecticut were like, tomorrow going to work is going to feel a lot better, right? And like that, it's just because we were all doing that together, and it was
Mhm.
like, as the year went along, whether the people were there, they're watching online, and they were just constantly supporting us. And I think that's what makes Georgetown special. It's just really, really a close-knit community. And when you have some success and everyone's kind of a part of that, and that's what I tell everyone, everyone's a part of the program, whether you're a donor, whether you're an alum, you're a fan, or just, a parent, or just you played here. It's everyone. And I think that part, everyone felt that, and they got behind this group. And I think it's a group that will obviously down in history as far as record change and all those things. But the way we did it kind of collectively that's what I meant by that. And beating a team like that, it was, which had been a kind of a, the big dog, if you want. I mean, that's what it is. And, as far as, in the conference or just previous, era of old Big East too. So it was good.
Well, let's transition now into postseason. Obviously, two games that you would love to have wins in, but there's just such experience going to the postseason for the first time since 2018, and first time since you've come to Georgetown, and also first time for all those seniors and guys that have come into Georgetown. So this is the first time they've gotten that postseason experience. Talk a little bit about why that's important, and what did you learn as a coach from the tournament, and what you see in your guys from the tournament?
Well, we weren't scared. We just weren't ourselves against UConn the first game. And I think, again, it's a daunting task mentally to think we got to beat this team again.
Yeah.
There's just some natural reality of beating a team 4 teams in a row. I don't care if it's a team down the street, but let alone at the top, and obviously they had a lot to prove. And we knew they were going to come out and get our best. And I think it was one of those games where, man, a hit falls, the ball falls early in that first inning off the wall. Or we don't get a double play there in that first inning. Who knows what happens? Ball goes out. The game could be changed. I mean, we pitched well enough to win. We just didn't get the hits when we needed to. We just kept hitting balls right at people. And so I think, it was 4-0, but it was really close. They had a couple of balls here and there, but it was just one of those days where it wasn't our day. We kind of weren't ourselves. I think there was a level of just, we were pressing a little bit and we're there, and what's going to happen. There's just nothing to be said about that. That experience component calmed us down and get day 2. We had a day off, by the rain. So we were kind of like reset ourselves. And I felt we were going to come out and compete at the level I thought we would. And obviously it was, we knew Xavier, we played them 3 close games during the regular season. So we knew it was going to be, everyone in the tournament's good. So we knew it was going to be a competitive game, and we knew that kind of offense, who was going to get a stop. And their offense had more runs than we did. We didn't get a stop when we needed it. Obviously, we're up there, in the 6th inning, up 7-6. After they, we scored 7 to take the lead, and then we gave it right back. And so that was disheartening. But our kids fought back again, like they had all year. Obviously, when they scored that big inning there, we just couldn't really overcome that. But our resiliency was kind of there. Our fight was there. Our grit was there. We just kind of ran out of steam. It's one of those things that we were the 4 seed, so we knew we were going to be on the road the entire time. So that's motivation for us, the coaching staff, as the players, all to realize that, hey, we're not that far off, but we know it's still a lot of work to get to the point next year. And I think that's the message will be, it's a totally new team, totally new year. Anything accomplishments we happen this year mean nothing. So we'll, ride them out in the summertime and go out and do those things. But I was just really, really proud of our group, and, for our 17 seniors to send them off in a way to have a positive impact on our program. It was great. And for young guys to kind of see it, and guys that played, obviously it was just, it's motivation like anything. You want to be playing on Sunday. Our goals are really simple in our program. We want to win the regular season championship every year. If we don't do that, we want to qualify for the conference tournament and then be playing on Sunday. That's our goal. And so I'm not scared to tell you that. Our players know that. People we bring into our organization know that, and that's our standard. We want to get to regional and be playing this year. And we catch up with Coach T next year, and we're talking about who we're playing in the regional. That's what we're here to do. And we'll reassess, we'll get better, and we'll make some adjustments and continue to move this thing forward.
Well, let's talk about some of those adjustments from going into next year. I mean, there's a lot to be proud of, and you talked about how proud you are of your guys and their fight all year. And what are 3 takeaways from the season that you're going to really harp on and just really drive home going into your second full season, 3rd year here at Georgetown, as you go into the off season here?
I just think, really just stay competitive. right? And I think that's one thing. Our team was competitive all year long. I never had to worry about us being like, oh, we're going to compete. Like, I never worry about that. I think, like anything, you look at the season and you can look at it a lot of different ways in the close games and this, but when we have an opportunity to finish a team, we need to finish a team on both ends, offensively and defensively. And at times we would throw a bunch of zeros in a row and then we'd score and then we give up a big run and then, or we'd be not hitting and all of a sudden the pitch, so we just have to kind of get aligned in that sense. But we did such a great job. Our defense was consistent. Our pitching was really consistent. Our hitting was pretty consistent. So that's areas obviously that's there. Now the takeaway is just, hey, we got to close when we need to close. In those games early in the year in conference that we ended up losing, those affect you down the stretch. It just does. It just always comes back. Same thing with overall record. If you look at some of our close losses, so finishing out teams, we have a chance to finish them out. That's kind of another takeaway. And I think the other one is just enjoy the process. I mean, I think when I looked at this team in August, we had a lot of guys, a lot of new players, a lot of questions like, are we good? How many guys we have returning? So we just didn't know until we kind of got into competing against somebody different. And that's why having, like I said, the first full practice of fall and everything was so important for our guys. And then once we got into the flow and the rhythm of our season, we were really able to establish ourselves as a program that's going to be competitive. It's going to compete at a high level, and it can give our team and our chance to win in the back part of the game. And, for the most part, we did that. Obviously, there's some outlying games here and there, but for the most part, if you look at our losses, we probably lost, 10 to 12, 15 games by 2-3 runs or less. So we're right there. Now it's just a matter of just taking care of things early in the game, getting a bunt down here, getting a shutdown inning there, all those things that kind of add up over the course of a 56 game schedule. But super proud of our kids and our program, and just, excited to kind of see some guys kind of go out and play summer ball. And we'll, some guys will move on to the job world. Some guys try to play professionally. Obviously the draft's not until July. So, we're hoping to hear a couple of guys' name called or sign free agent contracts and things of that nature over the next 3-4 weeks. But, right now, just get through today and then just take this first weekend off and just as a program. And we're on the dead period, so we can't go recruiting. So just kind of just take some time and take a deep breath. Is kind of what we're all going to do as a staff. And the players are out playing, but staff are going to kind of take a little bit of a deep breath and get ready for summer recruiting and things of that nature.
So I guess the pop-up question here for you is, if you had to take one word to describe this season, what's that word and why would you use it to describe this year?
What would I describe it? That's a good question. I think we would have to say change. I think that would be the word that I would say, that we changed a lot. We changed the perception of our program. We changed the results for the better. We changed, just how we approach things. And I think that this team will always be part of the change. That's probably the easiest way I would say it, was just change. A lot of change, a lot of things that were changing as we went along. A lot of records were breaking. There was just change throughout the year. Yep. That you can't really all comprehend until you actually look at all the numbers and dissect them. And you go from 6 wins to 32. You go from, 6 home runs to 98 home runs. Like, you're second in strikeouts all time as a team, saves. Like, there's just individual records, team records. And so when you look at all that and you do something like that, just change. And then change, obviously, for the better in our sense. And obviously, we want to continue to push forward and build upon, some of the success that we did have.
So shifting gears, obviously summer's approached and we are about to be in the full swing of summer. Is there any big summer plans? And, what's the drive going into the summer?
Yeah, I think it's just continue to grow, grow our program. We're going to, like anything, we're, recruiting players like every program is. And I think a lot of things that we try to do is check on our current players. They're the most important people in our organization, as they're here. So we'll go see them play in the summertime. We'll check with them. We kind of let them kind of be themselves, breathe a little bit from us. I always been with them since August. So just when we go to the games, we try to just sit up there and watch a game and not have to coach it, not have to coach the player, just support them more than anything. And then we'll be out in recruiting, just kind of normal summer stuff, just kind of getting the next wave of kids that will come in, the freshmen that come in, and any transfer we decided to add in. I think it's just being this first summer of kind of knowing what the fall is going to look like. That part's kind of like, for us, for me, it's calming, but because last year we didn't know how it was going to go, and there's still kind of COVID related uniqueness. And so hopefully that we're kind of in a state of new normal, if you will, or however you want to follow that. But yeah, just kind of be out and about, but also get some rest and recharge, rejuvenate, and get ready to go for a new group of new team, new group of guys to come back next August.
Coach, any final thoughts on anything Georgetown baseball related? And the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm just grateful to all of our fans and all of our support, our alumni, everyone that came out, sent a text, tweeted at us, watched us on video, whatever your support level was. We're just grateful. Our players felt that. We want to continue to build on that, for next year and continue to grow what we're doing. But again, just truly, truly thankful for, all the people that were associated with our organization and that had a piece in this season that we had, which was, again, a lot of change went on, but a lot of positive growth as well. And so we're just thankful and glad to kind of talk. And again, hopefully next year we're talking about regional and an NCAA tournament conversation. So, but those are things we have to work for. A long way to get to that point, but we know that we're not that far off. So again, just thank you for everyone. Thanks you for Dylan for all your work and all that you do to help just continue to grow our program with all the things you do for us. So I appreciate you and all that you do as well.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach. It's been a pleasure covering the team all year. Obviously a historic season and a full change season. And it's been a pleasure being able to rock with you guys all year. On behalf of head coach Edwin Thompson, I'm Dylan Smith. This has been Catching Up with Coach T.